We got a new update in at 8 o'clock on Erin with winds of about 110 miles an hour, moving to the north at 14 miles an hour. You can see the storm here as it pushes up toward the north. The pretty well-defined eye there. We'll zoom in just a little bit tighter to the storm, and you can see here what we're watching. Now, it is still far away, more than 300 miles away from the Georgia coast. More than 350 miles away from the Georgia coast, and it's about 300 or so miles south of the Outer Banks. And you can see that the turn has happened. All right, it was moving like this, and then it started going north, and then it's going to start moving that northeasterly track now. So it's already as close as it's ever going to get to the Georgia coast, all right? It's moving away from the Georgia coast. It's also going to have that track up toward the north and east, kind of paralleling the coast here. So of the entire Atlantic coastline, the Outer Banks will be the area that's the closest to it, and they are already getting those outer bands there at the Outer Banks, and we have rough surf that has been going on from Florida to the Georgia coast, to the South Carolina coast, to the North Carolina coast as the storm moves up toward the north. Now the blue that you see there in North Carolina, and I'll show you in just a second, that extends up to Virginia. That is where we have a tropical storm warning in effect, where they have the potential of having tropical storm force winds there, even though the eye is not going to move in. It's just a very large, very wide wind field with this hurricane. The hurricane force winds extend about 105 miles out. And then the tropical storm force winds extend out about 265 miles. So that's why the North Carolina coast is most likely going to have some tropical storm force winds. But I want you to see this. From Florida to the Georgia coast, to South Carolina coast, the area in white that you see here, that is a high surf advisory. And there is a rip current danger really along the entire Atlantic seaboard. And officials are urging folks, do not get in the water. Don't get in the Atlantic there if you're at a beach, because the surf is rough. The rip current is strong. It can pull you out, and it can be dangerous. So that is the main danger, even though this storm is not making landfall. And that, of course, goes up toward the north here. Here is that tropical storm warning for the North Carolina coast, Virginia coast, the Delmarva area here, the mid-Atlantic region, where we are seeing that the potential for some of those tropical storm force winds as that system continues moving. Now, I want to step out of the shot so you can see here the very large wind field with this. And the Georgia coast had some breezy conditions, windy conditions a little bit earlier today. But now the center of the storm is starting to move north and is going to be pulling away, now pushing up toward the north and the east. Now the strongest winds are along the South Carolina coast and here in the North Carolina coast too. You'll be able to see that here. Look at that purple color coming into the Outer Banks. That is where we see 35 to 40 plus mile an hour winds, and 38, 39 miles an hour. That is tropical storm force winds. So that's why they have the warning there in effect there, and also up to the north to Virginia, because it's going to be close enough to them to give them tropical storm force winds. It's going to keep moving up toward the north and then impacting New York, up toward here the not Cape Hatteras, but these areas there to the New England area that you're seeing there too, where we have a lot of wind and a lot of rough surf that's going to be pushing through those areas there. Here's a look at the wave heights. Now, we had some high waves along the Georgia coast today. That'll continue tomorrow, the South Carolina coast too. But these highest waves, the greens and yellows, trying to get in there to the Outer Banks. And that could be 10, 15, maybe up to 20-foot waves coming in. We were seeing video out of the North Carolina area there at the Outer Banks showing that road. I believe it's North Carolina 12 or 15, I can't remember right off the top of my head, that goes there along the Outer Banks. That a lot of that road was already washed over with sand and with water from the storm. So that's going to keep pulling away and taking those waves with it as we go through the weekend here. So here is the latest advisory that we have from 8 o'clock. Cat 2, winds of 110 miles an hour, moving north at 14, and then it's going to start pushing to the north and to the east. So here's that track. There's that easterly turn. By tomorrow morning, It'll be tomorrow afternoon, Cat 3, pulling away. So even though it's a Category 2 right now, it's a pretty well-organized system, and it is possible that it could become a Category 3, still well off of the coast. Also look at Bermuda right here. They have a tropical storm watch in effect for the potential for some tropical storm force winds there. But really, this threaded the needle between the Atlantic coastline and Bermuda. It just kind of curved away and went up to the north. So thank goodness this thing did not make it inland, because it is a very large storm. There are a couple of other ones that we're watching there. Okay, this one just updated. So these numbers are not correct here. That just updated. It turned red there. So that means there's a 70% chance or greater that this could become a tropical depression or a tropical storm. Fernand is the next name on the list. And then we're also watching this one here out off of the coast of Africa. Still about a 40 to 50% chance of developing. I'll update this and put it on our website too to give you the latest numbers from that.